guys want to try a social experiment?
Yeah.
You try? It's just 3 questions. You're on my YouTube live. Is that okay though?
That's fine.
I'd like to mention that. So they're easy. They start off easy, but then they get harder. The first question is, do you love animals, or do you have animals?
I like them.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of animal.
I got you. Oh, but you respect them. Like if you saw, say, someone beating up a helpless, little, I don't know, young fawn or something, you'd probably intervene, right? Or if it was a dog or a puppy or I don't know,
sure.
someone cute, you'd probably intervene. Do you want to try the thought experiment or the social experiment?
Yeah.
Okay, it does have to do with animals, and you're on my YouTube live. Is that okay? Cool. Okay, they start off easy, but then they get harder.
Oh God. Okay.
The first question is, you said you love animals.
Yeah.
What about you?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
indifferent?
I don't know as much about animals as
Oh,
her.
okay.
She
Gotcha.
has like a farm.
Oh, no kidding. Okay,
so she
gotcha.
knows animals.
Okay, heard that. But you love them, so by default, you probably respect them, right? What's going on, big guy?
What's up, man?
You want to try the experiment?
What's that?
It's just 3 questions,
Ask me 3.
but they're hard. But they get harder.
Alright.
You're on my YouTube live. Is that okay?
That's alright. What's up, man?
So I got a little thing here. It says animal lover. 3 quick questions.
Okay.
The first one is, are you an animal lover?
I would consider myself an animal lover.
Cool.
Yeah.
Me too. I got a couple cats. Do you have any pets?
I have a dog.
Okay. What's his name? Or her?
Chad.
Chad. Oh, I love animals with human names.
Okay.
I have Leonardo and I have Stella. And my cats, when I was young, were Daniel, Alexander, and Ruth. That
All
tops
human
it.
names.
Ruth, all
Yeah.
human names. Would you agree that animals have eyes to see, ears to hear, noses to breathe, brains to think, CNSs to kind of recept the world around them?
Depends. Most of them, yes. And,
Yeah.
There are some tiny animals.
Maybe some outliers.
Where
Yeah.
we're not so sure about if
Yeah.
they have eyes, ears,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Maybe
you know
some
what you mean.
outliers. Yeah, like
depends a
there's
bit.
some deep sea creatures that are like, well, I mean, they have more genius aspects than most of us can fathom, but there are some outliers for sure. Second question is, would you agree that animals have eyes to see, noses to breathe, brains to think, hearts to kind of,
Yeah.
drive their
Yeah.
living
Yeah.
system,
Sure.
Yeah.
and families, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you agree that animals have eyes to see, noses to breathe, brains to think, families per se, and basically are kind of like us in all the ways that matter?
I would say also, but they're not conscious like humans are.
But we
If
can
that's
agree
what
they're
you're-
sentient. We can agree they're sentient. Like they have a
If they
subjective.
know- They know what they are.
Yeah.
Sure.
They
They know
have,
that they're living, but they don't know.
Yeah.
Like if they looked at themselves in the mirror, they wouldn't realize that.
Yeah, some
They're
do. Like
themselves.
pigs, believe it or not. There's some
Sure.
outliers
You
there.
make a case for that.
Yeah, but sentience is kind of, I guess, the backdrop I'm looking for. Like they
Okay.
have, like all those things I mentioned, right? And they have a subjective experience of their own life. They have consciousness, just maybe not to the degree that we do, obviously.
I think your question is, what's the difference between sentience and consciousness? Is that the question is?
Well, no, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Third question's a hard one. What do you think about the animals we send to slaughterhouses? This is a tough one. And the only reason I'm out here is to make people think tonight. I do this every once in a while, just to kind of get your take on it, and to maybe hopefully imbue you with some information that you might not get otherwise. But what do you think about those animals, like the pigs, the chickens, all those guys? It's a tough one.
It's a tough
And it
question.
always
We're from Germany. And
Yeah.
we live close to
Oh, cool.
very, very, very close.
Oh, cool.
10 minutes by car.
Yeah.
To the biggest slaughterhouse in Germany.
Oh, gotcha.
And we have 84 million people.
Yeah.
More or less. Germany is a huge country.
Yeah, I've been there one
From
time.
France to Poland, from Denmark to Switzerland,
Gotcha.
and the biggest slaughterhouse we have in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And all those trucks go there
yeah.
day and night, and then they
Yeah.
mostly pigs
Yeah.
go into certain colored
Yeah.
rooms,
Yeah.
and they get gassed.
Does it smell? I know. There's a movie on Pignorant I like to tell everybody about called.
Yeah.
A movie on Amazon. The movie is called Pignorant, and it's on Amazon, and it shows you the gassing, 99%. But like in 2025, being that we have everything we need efficiently. Hey, buddy, what's going on? How are you? Hey, let me catch up. Catch up in a little bit here. Give me like 5 minutes. Nice to see you. I know people in this town. In 2025, when we don't need anything nutritionally, do you think it's warranted that we keep sending these sentient creatures to their fate when we don't need it nutritionally? and it's one of those things that's it's a tough subject because you know.
It's a tough, but for me, it's the quantity we eat.
Yeah, quantity.
It's
That's
a,
big
it's a
thing.
quantity thing. So
Yeah.
we eat too much.
Yeah.
We eat too
Massively.
much meat.
Yeah.
We should really reduce it,
Yeah, and you can see
and we
it.
should take care how the animal lived before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
from historic nature perspective, it's I would say foreseen in the world that
trouble we get into.
Yeah.
Eddie's in trouble.
human beings
It was part of
Meat?
our evolution.
like that,
Definitely part of our
but it
evolution.
was like okay, you eat it, I don't know, once a week, twice a month, or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and not every day, and that
Yeah.
massive quantity of
Yeah,
meat.
the overconsumption is
Yeah.
the reason.
So
you get
so I would not, for me personally, say I am a vegetarian or
Yeah.
a vegan or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah,
but we should try to reduce
for sure.
quantity of meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then really take the meat who has a good quality,
Yeah.
where the animal had a good life,
Yeah.
and where
And
the
I think-
slaughterhouse does,
Yeah. Oh, atrocious.
I don't know, good
Yeah.
way of doing it.
I know,
let's say.
but that's the thing. One fun fact before I want to respond to that. The even if the animal gets bunny rabbits, bedspreads, massages, gets played Kenny G, they all go to the same slaughterhouse. No matter what farm they're on, they go to the local
depends.
slaughterhouse. I mean, there might be, but once again, some outliers in that situation too. But where I was going to go was, like your heart told me that you wanted to see that you want to see their welfare better. Like that's your heart, right? And I think we have to ask ourselves that question: why, like, and go deeper there. Like, there's a reason that we want them to see their welfare better. It's because we know they're sentient and they have the eyes to see and the noses to smell and the brains to think. And families, and most animals are, chronologically speaking, they're children when they're killed. Like chronologically, if we were to attribute, the age, what they are when they're killed to like humans, they're kids because they're killed at 10% of their time horizon. So they're like 9 or 10-year-old kids. And we're just saying, off with your head, off with your head, off with your head. And it's not that we're doing it. We're so disconnected from it. We're so disconnected from it. But the systems that are underneath are exacting because of our dollars. You know what I mean? So
For what?
the systems underneath that we are exacting, we're exacting that because of our dollars. And we have an option.
Dollar.
The
Euro.
the monetary
The
vote.
money.
Sorry, monetary
Yeah,
vote.
yeah,
Yeah, euro. And we have a chance to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking myself out of it. And you can, nutritionally you'll be stronger.
Yes.
You won't have cholesterol, saturated fat, heterocyclogamines, IGF-1, hormones, growth factors. I can keep going. Those won't be in your diet. And when you eat meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, all of those things I just said are in your diet. Like you're literally putting them into your vessel. I appreciate you stopping by. What do you guys think about that posturing? Like, even if it's once a year.
The topic is so
Very
important.
contentious. Yeah.
My profession is
Yeah.
selling wind turbines.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. That's a green profession.
As
yeah.
you know, globally since a couple of years,
Yeah.
renewables are the most increasing power plants worldwide.
Yeah.
Right. More than power, more than nuclear, more than gas, more than
Yeah.
coal, more than whatsoever.
Yeah.
Building new capacities. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
China is increasing more than the rest of the world. They are pushing massively. My company, if we say, okay, we number one in the world, number two in the world, number one in Europe,
Yeah.
we have to accept China all the time because
Yeah.
they are. It's the same with
They're
electric
moving
cars.
this exponentially converging.
China does 90% of the worldwide electrical cars,
yeah.
building them, having them on the roads, and
Yeah.
the same for solar power, the same for wind turbines, and so you have to relate that. That's what
Yeah.
I like to say. And
I would
when
say-
it comes to nutrition,
Yeah.
it's
real quick,
so
let me
important.
intercept that real quick. We're talking about environment. Like the biggest cause of destruction is the animal ag. Animal ag on a basis beyond our even fathoming eclipses all things as far as destroying land, ocean dead zones, forest deforestation, all that stuff. So on that note, I mean, it would back up my point of challenging narratives and challenging things we've always done, because we go vegan, we open up the world. It heals, you know. But no, go on. You're going to add something.
We have been to New York City.
Yeah.
The last, we're from Germany.
Yeah. I've been to
Traveling
Manhattan,
from
by
New
the way.
York down to Florida.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have an electric car since a week or so. So
Yeah.
I'm pushing a lot
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
renewables and toward a green planet.
Yeah.
When it comes to nutrition, I'm working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, but
It takes a lot of time.
That's the thing. It's
just
about
needed the
money.
information.
It's
Yeah.
about enjoyment.
I have these cards.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I want to give you guys cards if you want to take them. It's up to you. But I
Of
just
course.
bring out cards, and they got resources. They got my YouTube channel on here. Most people in the chat are not vegan. By
Hi.
the way, most of them are not vegan. But yeah, the reason I'm here is because like societal narratives are
Thank you.
perpetuated like far and wide through different channels. What's going on, buddy?
Hey,
give me
what's
1
going
second.
on? Oh, okay,
Just,
my bad.
So all the channels that you're exposed to, like Netflix and the radio, everywhere you go, it's all meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. Meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. And it's sad, but it takes something like this to intercept that societal flow and get people to critically think, because we don't want to. I know I didn't want to. The information is information that you can do something with, and you can just say, boom, inflection point. In a way, it's each time we pay for meat, cheese, and milk, and eggs, we're entertaining these narratives that have been trickled down to us for ages. Years. Herding culture's genesis is 10,000 years ago. But I challenge you to take a look at that stuff there. Because each minute and each time and each day we're not vegan, we continually send animals to slaughterhouses, and we don't need to. You know, I bet the smell from that slaughterhouse is terrible. I bet you can smell it. I bet it's terrible. But I'll leave you with that. Do you have any questions for me?
Think about your cup.
Oh, my cup? Oh.
It's not the best way to drink coffee or else.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're saying, what about the cup? Like it's a...
Plastic and paper.
It's plastic and
Yeah,
paper,
yeah.
right?
We could do better
You
there.
could
In
use your
Europe, in
multi-use cup.
in Germany, we're forced.
I love that
the
about
shops are
Germany.
forced to
Yeah.
have like with the straws.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that. Yeah.
I get your point
Yeah.
about
Germany is so far ahead, by the way, as far as plant-based eating. Germany actually has Beyond Nuggets in their McDonald's.
true.
It's unbelievable. They have the McPlant. Here in America, we're so far behind. Our ways are so archaic, and we're scaling at this snail's pace because of money and capitalism.
It's McDonald's and Burger King's, honestly speaking, where you get each and every product in a vegan,
Yeah.
or in a vegetarian, not
Yeah.
vegan,
They
vegetarian
have
way.
channels, and people get on me and they say, "Why are you supporting McDonald's?" What are you talking about? I'm voting for something that is inherently not a part of direct animal exploitation. And I get that, but we can't use like that to say, okay, because of that or whatever, we'll keep voting for these systems that are putting 80 to 90 billion animals to death every year for arbitrary means. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you pointing out this. I should use some more environmentally sound. What were your names?
Mario.
Mario, I'm Jimmy. What was your
Hi,
name?
Jimmy. Nice to meet you.
Okay, awesome.
Follow
Nice to-
Jimmy all the time.
Oh, nice. All right.
Enjoy.
Awesome. Well, think about it, guys. Think about that last question, or that
Thanks
last point I
very
made. Because every minute we're not vegan, we just keep sending them to slaughterhouses. We can stop it right now. Check out my resources for sure.
Be
For
part
sure.
of that. Slowly, to be honest, but
Yeah.
working on it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, have a
Have a
great
good
night.
time.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
night, guys. All right, here comes the hard one. Okay, what do you think about the animals that we force to slaughterhouses?
I'm vegetarian.
Oh, that's okay. That's awesome.
I
wa-
don't
wanna
eat meat.
Oh, okay. I want to explain dairy, though. I want to explain dairy.
I'm lactose intolerant. I don't eat dairy
Oh,
either.
good. Well, good. So it sounds like you're vegan by design, unless you have
Yeah.
eggs. Do you have
I do
eggs?
eat eggs.
Okay, I'll explain eggs.
Okay.
But
I
what do
said
you?
pasture raised.
Yes, but I'll still get to that.
Sorry, I'm trying to help.
But what do you think about those animals, like in general, like their plight? They're kind of what's another word I'm looking for? They're kind of curse, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I really empathize with it. Like, personally, I only eat products that come from my land, so I know that they're
Yeah.
ethically
Oh,
raised.
okay, gotcha.
Like, I only eat like cheese for my goats.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Or like lamb
For
for my
lambs.
sheep.
Okay.
Like, so I can empathize with the plight. I also, yeah.
This might be tougher, this dynamic with me and you, because you're I guess your family has a farm, and that's, I believe that farmers are the fabric of our community.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of room for growth and evolution and things like that, and there's many ways to repurpose land nowadays. There's a lot of organizations that are helping us do it. But I would argue, based on our first agreement, that since they have these utilities and these interanatomical systems, that just nutritionally we don't need anything from them. Like,
Yeah.
we need zero. I would identify that as an injustice to them, being that we're taking all their time horizons just for arbitrary needs. When it comes down to like the net end all be all. What do you think about that?
I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's a tough
It's
it's
reasonable.
a tough conversation, but it's one we have to have in 2025 because people don't get sound information from commercials, from radio, from TV. They don't because everything is bought out, because everything's money and money runs the world. But this little dynamic we're having, I can actually give you sound information, and I have some cards at the end if you want to check out some resources I have that might be able to help you. But they even if I was having a conversation here with somebody, even if you have, they eat meat once a week or once a year, it doesn't matter to this animal, because this animal has to look up at the poor, or has to look up at the slaughterman or whatever means he has of his death,
Yeah.
and has to face his whole life gone just for, most people don't remember the meal they had last week.
Yeah.
Just for something as material as that, But eggs, eggs, what you pointed out, farm raised, of course that's an uptick.
The ones with the orange yolks.
Yeah, okay.
My mom says those are better.
Gotcha. Of course, there's an uptick with farm raised, right? But we're still saying your body, my choice, and that's still like the underlying dynamic we're exacting. Your body, my choice. Like chickens, even if if the males are born instead of the females in the hatching industry, so the males will go into a universal industrial grade blender, and they'll just go in there because they're of no need. If it goes for farm raised, it's a different. If it's farm family, on a very 1% basis, that could be a different story. But still, we're still saying your body, my choice. I know it's not the fun conversation you might have wanted to add. You know those guys? Okay.
Those guys? No.
The one guy wanted to talk. He came up and I said I was already talking to other people, but I guess he's going away.
Well, listen.
Yes.
We do have to go, but I appreciate your time,
Yeah, this is cool.
and I'll think about what you said.
Think about it. Here. Can you take these?
Sure.
So the card has my YouTube channel on it, and don't feel any pressure.
What do people usually say?
Yeah,
all the
what do
people.
people say?
But you can look. All the people in there are
I hate
mostly
rich people, and a lot of people
No,
play
like
homeless.
people who answer these questions.
He is not rich. He is
Sometimes they get really heated. Sometimes they get really heated, but that's the nature of change. You have to cross these bridges, and there's 3 stages of truth. The first is ridicule, the second is violent opposition, the third is acceptance. And we're hoping, to repurpose land and repurpose systems. That's our goal.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Well,
you,
that's
sir.
cool.
Well, have a
Thank
great
you.
night, ladies.
You too.
Take care. The
All right.
next question is a hard one.
All right.
What do you think? Because we've already come to a kind of an agreement here. What
Yeah.
do you think about the animals we send to slaughter, like to the slaughterhouses?
Yeah.
What's your position on them? Do you consider them the same, or are they kind of? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I think that they are a human necessity. I don't agree with factory farming. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say that.
no one does. The
Yeah.
last groups of people I talked to, we all hate it.
Yeah,
Vehemently opposed.
I think most people can agree with that, but I still think that we have a need for farming.
Okay.
In the sense of we should grow animals that. See, when you say slaughterhouse, that
it's such a hard first word.
It gives a negative connotation of
Yeah, and the
like
thing is-
you send someone or an animal to a factory farming where they're gonna
Yeah.
kill with a shotgun. But
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, I don't agree with that part, but
Yeah.
I still agree with raising animals to be killed for human consumption.
We
you
have
know?
been doing it for a long time. It was part of our evolution, part of our genesis.
Sure.
But the thing that I'm trying to get the word out on tonight is just imparting information that you wouldn't get otherwise. Like vegans, I'm a vegan, you can probably
Okay.
tell already.
Yeah.
We've identified an injustice, and the injustice is pertaining to the fact that nutritionally we don't need any of it. There's zero we need.
So you don't take any supplements?
I mean, there's one thing called B12 that non-vegans have to supplement too. They just don't know
That
they're
was my
supplementing.
one question with B12. So
Yeah,
if you supplement that, to me,
cows
in my
get it
eyes,
supplemented,
you can't really call it a diet if you have to supplement anything.
Non-vegans wouldn't get it nowadays either, but cows
Okay.
get supplemented with it. So
Okay.
the B12 doesn't come from an animal. Do you know where it comes from?
I would guess my first guess was red meat.
So I know, right? And that's what I thought too. But it's a bacteria from the soil. And
Okay.
modern
So grass-fed.
agriculture. It's a bacteria from the soil. But modern agriculture yields nowadays that animals can't get anymore. Even grass-fed doesn't matter. The way agriculture and the way things have scaled, they just don't get it. So 98% of cows get it injected.
Okay.
So you, believe it or not, will actually supplement with it too, but you take it through a middleman, like the animal. And vegans will just take it via the pill. So that's always a question. And there's still a lot of speculation around B12 that we even need it. There's still a lot more information coming out via peer-reviewed stuff that we even need it. We might not even need it to the degree which we're fear-mongered to take it.
The only rebuttal I have to that is I've heard a lot of studies about B12 and cognitive effects with, let's say, vegans. If they don't supplement B12 over the span of 5-10 years, they essentially go crazy.
You think?
Not
okay.
not
You never
go
know.
crazy, but they have certain cognitive. They start to deteriorate with their mind.
I would challenge that.
There was a
source.
woman actually that went into the jungle. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Tell me.
I don't know her name specifically, but there was a woman that went full blown off the land, like no animals whatsoever. She was just eating fruit. Fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
She was only eating fruit and vegetables, and over the course of like 3 or 4 years, I forget her name. I don't know if people.
But
on
she
here
went
knows.
off and
She went off on some island, and then she eventually died. Unfortunately, over the course of 5 years, because she was nutritionally deficient. She didn't have, I believe, it was B12. I don't. Don't quote me on that.
Well, we can find. Yeah, I get that, and that sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah.
But it's an anecdote.
Yeah, sure.
nonetheless.
No,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Just
I
like
agree.
one of the oldest living people that ever existed was a smoker up until the day she died. She lived to 114. I mean, we can point out all these anecdotes, and you can probably find a shit ton. You know, if you look into the med surge wing of any hospital, almost all these people, these are products of overconsumption of meat and cheese and milk and eggs, and they're all going to their grave early because of cholesterol and sat fat and hormones and IGF.
So is long life your goal with
no
veganism?
Well, I mean, health-wise, it's a bonus, right? But we go vegan.
I'm curious what your goal is with veganism. Is it environmental reason or is there?
It's animals, 100% animals, because they have these eyes to breathe.
So
I'm
morally,
sorry, eyes to breathe, eyes to see.
Okay.
It's totally a moral stance.
Moral stance,
And this is the golden rule. This doesn't have to do with religion or politics or anything. This is just the golden rule. Do unto others ... We extend our purviewship to animals. That's it.
I get it.
Yeah. So I would challenge you. What would stop you from going vegan?
The fact that I have to take supplements.
You don't.
To,
I mean,
well,
you
B12,
already are.
You take B12.
But you're supplementing already, so it's already moot.
By eating red meat.
But they get
That's how I
supplemented.
supplement.
But they get supplemented with it.
I know, but I don't take any pills. You have
But
to take pills.
you're taking there's an extra chain of steps. In
I get
yours.
it, but
I have
okay.
less than that actually.
I respect that. Now, why aren't vitamin B12s injected into whatever you're eating then?
Well, they make it synthetic. We have synthetic B12 that they just create.
So you eat a pill?
It's a pill, yeah.
Okay.
And you get it like indirectly through a shot.
Through a shot,
indirectly.
that's shot into a cow, and then you eat the cow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now.
I mean, honestly, that sounds more cringe, doesn't it?
I wouldn't say so. I don't think eating a pill. Well, look. The thing is I wouldn't mind eating a pill. That's not the issue that I have every day or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not an issue that I have per se.
What is the big reason? What's the big fundamental reason? Is it taste?
I wouldn't say taste. I would say, another big thing is protein. I don't know where I source my protein from. I don't want to be eating tofu.
I got a card I'll give you before you leave, and I'll give you tons of resources for that.
Okay.
I mean, except for a few outliers, every single fruit and vegetable has every single essential amino acid.
I'm not talking about amino acid. I'm talking about quantity of grams of protein.
Okay.
How do I get if I want to eat, all right, let's say you're supposed to have 2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram if you want to put on weight for, let's say, I'd like to increase my muscle mass.
Yeah.
So with guys like me, if I want to increase my muscle mass, I don't feel like that is not really.
Oh, it's
veganism,
not really optimal. I
exactly,
got you.
Exactly, sure.
Game Changers. Have you heard of Game Changers, the movie? Game Changers, you'll see vegan bodybuilders, you'll see power lifters, all these guys. Nimai Delgado was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness like 5 years ago. I mean, you have all the arsenal. It's there. You just have, if your why is strong enough, you'll find a way. It won't matter. You'll find a way. I'm trying to convince you of the why, like the reason to stop supporting these control narratives that just want you following orders. They want you buying the meat. They want you buying the cheese, the milk, the eggs, because this is how we've been doing it for thousands of years, and this is how industry thrives. So veganism is a way to question narratives, in a way to say no to the man, in a way to just stand for your values.
I love, that part of veganism I absolutely love and adore.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing I love more than, sticking up to the man.
Yep.
Like I even,
F
even my own
that guy.
philosophy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love doing that shit type
Yeah.
of that.
This is your biggest way to do it because
Okay.
literally removes you from a system
Yeah.
that is inherently violent and
Right.
oppresses others.
Okay.
And it literally and makes the 1% of the 1%. We call these guys the plutocrats. There's about 8,000 people that really control everything.
Mhm.
They're like 1% of the 1%, and they siphon all the money from us, and they siphon all the money made off of animal ag, which is an incredible amount. Just think of the 38 billion that's subsidized to the meat industry to underwrite cheap meat every year. These are insane amounts of money. So they want to keep people defending their positions to
Okay.
keep eating meat. And
Okay.
I'm just trying to impart you with this just sound information
No,
that
I
you can
respect
hopefully take. Here, take
I
a
do.
card. You said
I'll take one. I
So
will.
the protein thing. Check out Game Changers. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
You said you already watched it.
No, I haven't, but I'll check it out. Look,
What's
my
your-
mind is always open. I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to anything like this, and I really do.
I appreciate you having the guts to stop by.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
of course.
It's a curious
But
thing. Our
I do have one
experiment.
question for you.
Please.
There were some interesting crossovers with what you just said in the past 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. There's some interesting crossovers between you and RFK. What's your opinions on RFK?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Let me
I think
hear
maybe he's
this.
better than what we had in
Okay.
terms of the position, but
Even you would say this.
Yeah, yes,
All
but
right.
I'll say there's an uptick.
I'm honestly surprised
but
you said
it's
that.
definitely. Remember, veganism has nothing to do with politics. So a few people have also asked me that.
Okay.
Obviously, there's an uptick there. Obviously, it's a better canvas for us, but he's not vegan, and that's that I don't respect him, in
Okay.
any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
was vegan and he actually lived the way he was talking, I
Yeah.
would definitely respect him. I think him being here will create an uptick in hopefully health related things.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but we can do a hell of a lot better than that. That's all I'll say.
See, in my mind, I think, growing up, we're always told that the political spectrum is left and right.
Yes.
We see a line.
Yes.
I think it's
Versus.
not a line. I think it's more of a circle.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well,
now, I think the ultra left can almost agree with on certain points
Yeah.
with ultra right. So
Yeah.
that's very curious to me how it goes from center down here and then it wraps back around where we see like a certain convergence with ideas with the ultra right and ultra left.
yeah.
That's very curious to me. I don't know
Yeah.
why that happens.
Yeah.
So
I've
I
seen
was
that.
wondering why.
I've seen a few
so
of those things materialize.
I think that you yourself would agree with a lot of things that RFK says. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you're an RFK supporter. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. But on certain standpoints, you could probably agree with some
Yeah.
certain things that RFK says, and he's ultra right, and you're probably
Yeah,
on
I'm
the other side of the
apolitical.
spectrum.
I'm apolitical.
Apolitical,
Yeah,
okay.
not left, not right.
Okay.
Just golden rule, man. That's it.
I
don't
do
even-
respect that.
Like the system of politics, the system of voting. Like the real vote that counts is the monetary vote. The ballot, sure, it counts.
I
But
do
the
agree.
monetary vote eclipses all things because that's counted 3 times a day, and it always gets counted.
Yep.
Yeah, it always gets counted, and that is what we want to see in the world. That's the change. So,
Yep.
are we going to exact that change we want to see in the world, or are we going to exact this change we want to see in the world?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave you with that. And just remember, until you're not vegan, you just keep sending these animals to slaughterhouses
Okay.
just for arbitrary means.
All right.
So I like to leave people with that. What was your name, man?
My name's JD. Nice talking to you
JD?
today, JD.
JD.
That's
Oh,
right.
cool. My initials are JD. I'm Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy. What's
yeah.
your middle name?
My middle name's Patrick.
Okay, Patrick, and last name.
That's
Or-
why I came out here today. It's St.
Okay.
Patty's. No, just kidding. My
Yeah.
last name is, it doesn't matter. But you'll see my channel on that
Okay.
card.
I'll check it
and
out.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys in here, they're mostly non-vegans. We're just watching, and I just record lives, and
Yeah.
I have other videos too. But
Okay.
it's just in spirit of creating like awareness campaigns
Right.
and just spreading awareness. That's
Right.
it.
I always like that stuff.
Yeah, and I
Um,
appreciate see how these ebbs and these flows and a little volatility here and there, like our dynamic right there. That's
Yep.
what change needs. We have to go through these
Oh,
dynamics
absolutely.
to change.
Absolutely.
Because you might think about this next week or
No,
the next few.
I agree.
weeks.
And there needs to be
Um,
more stuff like type of this where there's actual human interaction and not like online
Yeah.
space. Because can you imagine if me and you were going back and forth on
Oh, where would
some
that get us?
forum and
Where would that get us?
it would get us nowhere.
Yeah.
We would be calling each other names by the end of like 10 comments.
Yeah.
We'd be calling each other names. So I appreciate you reaching out to me. I will.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you one more question though before
Yes.
I go. I want to hear your opinions on 2 families.
Okay.
They both start with R. Can you guess what family name I'm thinking of?
2 families, and they both. Okay. Are they elites?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very
I-
much so.
You're talking about the Rothschilds.
Yes.
And Rockefeller?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, they're a real thing, and it's unfortunate. They're right up in there in that plutocratic space.
Yeah.
You know, with the 1% of the 1%. It's disgusting. There's a great short online called The American Dream, where they
Okay.
get into it's more.
I'm gonna write this down.
More
if you
into.
don't mind.
It's not really veganism, but it's about finance and how the plutocratic became the plutocratic and how credit kind of ruined everything. Anyway, but they're not friends.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not friends, and they
Yeah.
love people defending their behaviors like meat eating and cheese eating. They love that because that just means more money, baby. Let's go. Let's siphon it all
See,
off, you know?
I feel like every American can agree with you on that point because most of us think that way. Most of us don't realize that it should be the 99% versus 1% and not the left versus white. The 99,
Yeah, there you go.
The
There you
1%
go.
here,
Yeah.
if I have one message for your viewers right here,
Yeah.
I think it's 1% versus the 99%
I
and
love
not
that.
the left versus right because the 1% wants us to believe that it's the left versus right.
Yep.
Because that's how they keep us all down.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
they keep us all suppressed,
It's
all
just-
in order. That's how they keep the ants in line.
Yeah, they just
They
say,
keep the
"Hey,
ants
deal
in
with
line.
that. That's
Deal
like,
with this.
That's yeah.
We're gonna
it's a
give
big-
all these little issues on like
Yep.
either whether it be race or whether it be trans, or whatever it is. They keep these like little. They keep straw man arguments about these little things that
Yeah.
don't pertain to us.
They get us fighting over very arbitrary things, and all
Exactly,
of a sudden we're dead.
exactly.
Because our time horizon is gone,
Yep.
and we're 80 years old, and we're dead.
Yeah,
and we
we're dead.
played their effing game. You
Yep.
know? But think about the animals, because this is your biggest
I
way
will.
to say to those guys up there. Think
Okay.
about the animals.
All right, I will. I will.
JD.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks for stopping, JD.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for talking to
Have
you,
a great
man.
night. Yeah,
Yep.
appreciate you having a conversation. Take care. Anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Thanks for moderating, Lewis. And I'll see you guys later this week. Love you all. Have a great night, guys.